guys. Welcome back to the Skin Scoop, Aestheticians Unplugged. I'm your host, Madison.
And I'm your host, Lexis.
And we have a very special guest today. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Hi. I'm Gabi, known as Glam Girl Gabi on the internet.
Yeah. So today we're talking about kind of the Glam Girl Gabi effect. That's what I put it as, because I think that you have a really good presence. I also think that I love the way that your content feels very authentic, and you're just a fabulous person as well, knowing you like off of camera. Because I mean, I'm not sure how, if you have like an online persona versus how you are in person, or if it's completely the same, but honestly, you are just a ray of sunshine. So we're glad you're here.
Sunshine.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah,
What
thanks
an
for hanging out with us.
introduction. Of course.
So I guess we'll just kind of jump right in. Tell us a little bit about you, your history, how you got into it, you know, the whole works.
Yeah. Do you want my history in the beauty industry or my
Yeah.
history on YouTube?
Whatever you
I
want
mean-
to share.
Yeah, maybe a little combo of both.
Yeah. So I became a professional working makeup artist when I was 19 years old. I won't go too deep into the whole history of that, but I was signed with Judy Inc., which is a makeup and hair and fashion editorial agency in downtown Toronto.
Oh, wow.
And they represented me as a makeup artist. So I started my career as a makeup artist only, and I did a lot of fashion editorial, commercial print, TV, film. So I did that for about 7 years. And then when I was 25, 26, I went to hairdressing school. I wanted to start a family, and my life at that time was crazy. I was traveling all over the world. I was doing makeup here, there, and everywhere. They were calling me, in the morning and letting me know I had to be on set in a couple hours. And it was just a very chaotic life to have a family. And so Tony and I had met at that time. We wanted to get married and talk about having a family, so I needed a bit of a plan B. So that's when I went to hairdressing school. When I graduated hairdressing school, I started renting a chair in a salon, and I built up a full clientele doing that. So I never worked for anyone. I went straight from hairdressing school and just rented right away, because I already had a voice in the beauty industry at that point. And a lot of people knew me for that. Mm-hmm. And so then for the next several years, like the next 10 years, I was doing makeup on set half the time, and I was in salon with clients half the time. And so just depending on what I was booking on what time, I was just going all over the place, here, there, and everywhere. Yeah.
Chaos.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
But that's very
Yeah.
interesting, because I feel like a lot of beauty influencers, in quotation, don't actually have like a background. It's just something that they're passionate about and they learn along the way. So it's really cool that you have done like schooling and really worked in the industry.
Yeah, I've been doing makeup full time for 20 years. So I wasn't someone that just had a passion for makeup and was playing it with on my own face. I've worked with thousands and thousands of women of all different places in the world. I've done editorial campaigns for Sport Check. I've done Tide detergent commercials. I did Nelly Furtado's music video. I had a really strong foundation of knowledge before I started making content about it.
Yeah.
And I think that set me apart a little bit from some of the younger creators
Yeah.
that are amazing as well. But I had like something that was a little bit different.
That's awesome. So then how did you make that transition into getting into like the YouTube space? Because is that where you started probably?
Yeah. So it was really bizarre. So what ended up happening is I opened my own little salon, so my own little studio, and then I was still working on set. And then I also opened a bridal business where I had a full, I had quite a large staff actually employed for me, and we would do anywhere from like 60 to 80, sometimes even 100 wedding parties a year. And I would send my girls out to all these different gigs and all these different jobs. So at that time I was working like 6-7 days a week, and I had 2 young kids. It was completely insane. And so I ended up booking myself for one of these jobs because there was a bride getting married at Langdon Hall, and she really wanted someone to go in, but it was just her hair and makeup and her mother-in-law's hair and makeup that she needed. I didn't want to send my girls to that job because it wouldn't be lucrative enough for them. So I was like, you know what? I'll be in and out in a few hours. I'll do it. So when I went there, I ended up getting to know this bride, talking to her, and she was a full-time YouTuber. She wasn't local. She just came here for Langdon Hall. And we kind of hit it off, and she's like, you should really be a YouTuber. Think about being a YouTuber. And I was like, what? I had never watched YouTube. I had no idea what I had never turned on a camera. I never recorded myself. I was definitely a behind the cameras type of girl for all those years. I was getting the talent ready. I was never the talent and had no interest in being the talent. And so I just said no. I got her all ready, parted ways.
Like, thanks, but no thanks.
Yeah, I was like, cool idea, but also like, no. Yeah, and then I ended up having my second son, and she messaged me a long time after. Maybe it was a year, maybe even 2 years later. And she said, I have a proposition for you. And I said, listen, I'm not working right now. I'm on maternity leave. I'm taking a few months off because with the boys, I only took about 3 months off because I was self-employed.
Yeah.
And she's like, just hear me out. I just want to talk on the phone. So I ended up getting on a call with her. And she's like, we want to tap into the beauty creator space because that's where all the money is. And we're not beauty creators. They were kid creators. They made animations for kids channels.
Cool.
They did extremely, extremely well. Extremely well. And she said, what if we became basically your producer and editor, and we'll tell you what's trending at the time. We'll set you up. We'll send you all your lighting, your mics. They lived out east, so I never saw them in person, but they shipped all the stuff over. They said, all you got to do is film the episode. We'll tell you what's going on in the space. You just film the episode naturally. We'll edit it. We'll post it. We'll do everything, and we'll go splits on the monetization when it comes in.
Yeah.
So that's how it started. I didn't have much to lose because I was on maternity leave anyway. And I'm like,
you're like filling up the free time that you had when they were sleeping.
Yeah, it's like, it will give me something where I'm going to feel like me because I felt like I had like lost myself in the baby stuff.
Yeah.
And so I would do it in the evenings and the weekends when Tony was home, and I would send them all the footage and they would edit it. And then long story short, it didn't end up working out, our relationship, like her and I, because YouTube is really taxing. It's an enormous amount of work. We weren't getting monetized. It was hard to grow. I had never been in front of the camera, so I was terrible at first. And so we did it for a few months, and then she got busy with other things. She's like, you know what? I just don't know if this is actually going to work out. I said, no problem. I shipped her all her stuff back. But then at that point, I got like obsessed with it.
Yeah. And you're like, no, this is for me.
Yeah. And I was like, I'm going to figure this out.
Yeah.
That's great. So what was the point, or was there like a specific video or something that you did where you started noticing that growth coming in?
Yeah. So my first viral moment was I had alopecia, and it was actually quite bad. I had really bad alopecia on the sides of my head.
Really?
And so I decided to make this video just really random, just called My Hair Loss Story, just kind of talking about what had happened. It was some autoimmune stuff, and it was just very raw. And I was saying, if you have these things happen, don't be like me and let it go, blah, blah. It was a bit of like a warning story. It had a really strong thumbnail. Yeah. It was like profile, and I had my hair lifted up, and like half my head had like no hair.
Oh, yeah.
So that video was the first super viral video, and that changed a lot of the trajectory of the channel. Yeah. Because I had started it as a makeup channel. Then I pivoted to do like fast fashion. So I bought every outrageous outfit from Shein. Like the Mia Maples, the Hope Scopes of YouTube. I really like that niche. Yeah. I tried that niche. It never hit. No. Then I did My Hair Loss Story. That hit. And then for a long time, my entire channel for like a year was about hair loss. Yeah. So hair loss solutions.
And were you into that, or was it more like, I know that this is what people want to see, so you're doing it kind of like for them?
Yeah, this is the problem with YouTube. It's a viral video can be a blessing and a curse because it will put you in front of the audience that wants to see that content.
Yeah.
So if you're not interested in that content that went viral, you're kind of pigeonholed into it, because the way the algorithm works, it's based on two things: average view duration and click-through rate.
Yeah.
So if people click on your thumbnail at a high percentage and they watch your video for as long as possible, it's going to get served to a greater audience. So YouTube serves it to your core audience first.
Yeah.
They view the analytics and the metrics. If it's doing well on those two metrics, it gets served to a bigger audience. If it does well on those metrics, it's just served bigger and bigger and bigger. So what can happen, like what happened with me, I made a video about hair loss. So I got this huge amount of people that were interested in hair loss. So every time I would make a video that wasn't about hair loss, they wouldn't click, or if they clicked, they wouldn't watch it long.
Yeah.
So then YouTube wouldn't serve it to a bigger audience, so the video would flop. And our income is tied to our views.
Yeah.
So what can happen really quickly is you go down this slippery slope of only creating videos for that audience because it's the only way you make money.
Did you face any doubts or resistance when you started putting yourself online as a beauty influencer?
Oh, yeah. It's like a rite of passage.
Was
Yes.
it from like people online specifically right away, or was it from family?
Yeah, friends and family.
So you don't get hate until you get bigger. So getting hate is actually a really good sign that you're reaching outside of your core people, like your family and friends.
You're
Yeah.
like, I made it.
Yeah, like as soon as that first troll comment, you're like, heck yeah, you hate me. You're not my mom or my cousin.
Oh, that's hilarious.
But there was a lot of things, like a lot of condescending comments, not from my family. They were really supportive, but from other people. Like I remember that I ran into someone else's mom, like a friend's mom. And she's like, I saw that you're making those little videos. That's such a cute little hobby. And she didn't mean it in a mean way, but it was a lot of like, oh, that's cute. Or why do you spend so much time doing that?
And it's not sustainable because it's a hobby, is what they think.
And at the time, I will give it to them, it was a hobby. And the hardest part of starting in the attempt to be a full-time creator is that no one starts good at anything. So when I started makeup, I sucked. When I started hairstyling, I sucked. I made a million mistakes. I melted a bunch of people's hair before I could do a color correction. You know?
Yes.
You gotta make mistakes. Yeah. Good at everything at the beginning at all. And if you are, then the thing you're doing isn't hard enough.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of flops, and I think you have to be the type of person that's very resilient, because you'll put 30, 40, 50 hours into a video and get 100 views. Or, you know, it just feels like a big waste of time at the beginning, and you can't really recognize that you're not good because you don't know enough to know what you're not good at yet. So you're just like, this video is amazing, but everyone, you know, no one's watching it. And now I look back at those videos and I'm like, oh my goodness, it was bad. Like, really bad.
That's funny, because that's also what goes through my mind when I look at my old videos and stuff that's like archived and stuff.
Yeah.
It's
Yes.
like, what?
And at the time you thought it was like bomb. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also like used to, for fun, make like tutorials on YouTube. Completely forgot about them. Like, didn't do well. I just did it for fun, right? Completely forgot about them.
Yeah.
And I started dating Kyle, and we've been together for a while. And one day he randomly sends me a picture of him watching the video. I was like, are you kidding me? How did you even find that? So naturally I went back and I made everything private.
As you should.
It's so embarrassing. I think I was like 18 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But everyone starts somewhere. Like,
I mean, it's different times. So like YouTube was really, really big and booming. And then it kind of fell off a little bit. I feel like the people that, at least that I was watching, weren't posting as regularly as Instagram started to get popular. But I feel like YouTube is really coming back, and people that I watch are posting more regularly.
Yep.
And I've always loved YouTube. Like, it's like a comfort thing. Like, you put it on, it feels like you're FaceTiming your friend while you're eating your food and stuff. Like, it's great. So I love to see it.
YouTube is actually now bigger than it's ever been. I think that we can think that it's not here because YouTube in Canada is not big. So even if you look at my audience, right, I have around, I don't know, 600 and something thousand on YouTube. Only 10% of my audience is Canadian because Canadians don't watch YouTube.
Only 10%.
Wow.
Yeah. The majority of my audience is American, followed by Germany, and then followed by Spanish countries because we do audio dubbing. So all of my videos are audio dubbed in Spanish, French, and German.
How does that work?
Oh, do you want to go down that rabbit hole?
Well, like just quick overview, like you have someone that does that for you and like.
Yeah, so I have quite a large team now. And so my director of operations, his name is Sandeep. And so he lives in the UK and he manages all the operational parts of the channel. And so he's the one who proposed audio dubbing. So we found a service that actually uses my voice to dub me into multiple different languages. Do you want to see?
Mrs. Worldwide.
Are you kidding me?
And that changed the channel tremendously because before it was all US, small part Canada. And now it's become a global channel. So we have lots of Germans, we have lots of French. And if you look through my comments, you'll see every 4th, 5th comment's in a different language.
That's the coolest thing I've ever heard. I didn't even know that was a thing.
It's like AI next level.
Yeah.
What?
That's crazy.
So wait,
It changes everything.
is it like you only make the one video and then they can change it
Yes.
when
So
they're viewing it? What?
yeah. So the way
Imagine someone comes up to you thinking you can speak German.
I know. So the way the back end works is that Sandeep will translate all of the titles and descriptions and tags into that language. So into German, French, and Spanish, right?
Yeah.
And then the AI will do the language. So when someone in Germany is searching how to do a smoky eye for mature skin, my video will pop up with the German title and the German description, and then I'll speak German automatically.
What?
That's insane.
The heck?
Yeah. So I'll show you.
Yeah,
I
please.
need to hear you speak German.
Okay, I'll show you. Hold on. Let's put it on one where it's only me talking. So here's one. This is a recent one.
What if I told you that some of the best beauty products for women over 40
So
are
then
sitting
you go here,
luxury
then you go to
counter
audio
with the
track,
right
and we can.
Top dans votre pharmacie? Oui. J'ai passé des mois. Eh bien, je pense que ça fait des années. Ça fait certainement des années.
Oh my god, I'm shook if my mouth is literally dropped.
Yeah.
Welche günstigen Alternativen überzeugen?
I'm obsessed with this.
I know.
Lass uns tauchen und ihre Routine günstig verbessern. Los geht's.
I know. Do you want to see me speak Portuguese?
Yes, please.
Meine Kunden lösen de 45, 50 anos têm os problemas com os quais lidam na aplicação de maquiagem e os produtos que
Oh
resolvem.
my god. This is insane. Wow, your team is brilliant.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
like
Brilliant.
next level.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, even if I pull up here in my analytics, it really is like it's become quite a large. There's a huge global team for Glam Girl Gabi Inc. Like it's an incorporation, and everyone has a role, and everyone works in their genius. And
Yeah.
Sandeep is very good at operations and at getting global reach and expansion. And so when we added him to the team, he changed the analytics of the channel completely. Even if you see here, yeah, we have 40% US. Only 5% is Canadian. The UK is
Jeez.
another 5. We have India, then Germany, Australia, France, Spain, Italy, and Mexico.
That's crazy.
Oh
Wow.
my gosh, I can't believe you're saying Guten Tag on camera. Like, this is crazy.
I know.
So
Whole different world.
you talked about how you started going viral, like your first viral video was the hair loss. When did you start noticing monetary gain from it? Like you were like, I could do this full time, not have to worry about anything. Was it from YouTube or was it like brand deals? I'm not fully sure like how all the back end stuff goes with having such a big brand, but yeah, when did you notice?
Yeah. So do you want me to explain like how monetization works first?
I would love that.
Okay. So YouTubers or creators, we work in a multi-revenue stream style. So the first revenue is AdSense revenue, which is the ads that play before your videos. and in the mid-roll. So sometimes what will happen is, and we actually, okay, I'll tell you that in a second. There's so much to tell you.
This is so interesting. Like, I
Yeah.
love to know a deeper dive of what's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I love talking about it. Like I spoke at Vid Summit last year, which is a huge
Yeah.
creative conference, and I really like sharing it. So I don't hold back. I just tell you guys how it is. So for AdSense revenue, you need at least 1,000 subscribers, and you need 4,000 watch hours in 1 year to become eligible for Google AdSense. Then you apply for it. You have to be approved, and then you get Google AdSense. So AdSense revenue, if you're a smaller creator, isn't a lot. You know, you can get $400 a month or $500 a month. But when you become a bigger creator, it's a lot of money. I know creators that get $100,000 a month on AdSense revenue alone.
Wow.
So it's a huge monetization opportunity. And so what we started doing is you can also do non-skippable ads, pay more than skippable ads. But if you do non-skippable ads, you might lose views because viewers will click out.
Yeah.
So it can affect your average view duration. If your average view duration is affected, it won't get expanded to a greater audience for viewing.
Yeah.
Right? Because you can't affect that metric. That metric is really important. So another way to make a lot of money or to maximize your AdSense revenue is to put mid-roll ads. And you can place these, or you can get YouTube to place them for you. But it's a really good idea to place them yourself. So the way that we did it with Sandeep, he's like the best.
Genius.
Yeah. We would watch the video and we would look at our average view duration chart. So it's all mapped out. You can see when people are clicking on, clicking off. You can see when they're rewatching sections. You can see what they're skipping. It's all in a chart in the back end of YouTube. So we would post a video. We would let it get enough traction, get enough views, right? 30, 40, 50,000 views. Then we would analyze the analytics chart and we would see where people were rewatching. So say I did a really complex eyelash application on a model and I could see that people really liked that section. We would drop an ad right before that section. So if they wanted to rewatch it, they had to watch an ad.
Smart.
Yeah. And so we managed to get our AdSense revenue up like 30% in 1 month from being really strategic in where we were placing our mid-rolls.
Wow.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so that's one monetization. Another one is brand deals. That's another hugely lucrative revenue stream. And the way that works is when you're a bigger creator, you really never do a fully sponsored video because no one wants to watch that. It's like watching an infomercial.
Yeah.
So we sell minutes. So I'm signed to an influencer agency in LA called I Am Social LA. And so James, my manager, will say, okay, Typology just booked a sponsorship this morning. And they'll say they want 1 minute of talking. So 1 minute of talking will cost X. But if they want me to talk about it for 2 minutes, it costs Y. For 3 minutes, it costs Z. But I will never talk about a brand for more than 3 minutes or it will affect the AVD.
Yeah.
And then another huge revenue stream is affiliate linking. So there are these big affiliate portals, especially for beauty creators. There's LTK, there's ShopMy, there's Howl. And so you have to apply to become a part of this network. And then once they accept you, if you're a sizable influencer, you basically get affiliate links for every single thing you talk about. So Sephora's on there, Ulta's on there. I mean, every single brand is on there.
Yeah.
So if I go on and make a video and I'm talking about a mascara, what we'll do, and so Lori, who works, she's like my affiliate manager, she'll go into the back end. She'll go into Howl, LTK, ShopMy. She'll see which platform has the biggest affiliate commission rate. So is it Sephora will pay me 15% of sales, but maybe Ulta will pay me 20% of sales. And so we will link according to the highest percentage on the multiple websites, but we'll do that for every language. So if you're watching in Germany, there's a German link. If you're watching in the US, there's a US.
Yeah, this is crazy.
The complex,
Yeah. Insane.
Yeah, it's a lot. So if you go to my videos, if you actually click on the description box, every link is separated by a flag.
Yeah.
So if it's a UK viewer, they're not like, I really wanted to buy that Merit foundation stick from Gabi, but it's only available in the US. We're losing like $100,000 of sales
Yeah.
doing that. So we're like, we have to find a link for every country.
Yeah.
And just to give you an example, the huge magnitude that has, I shot with RMS Beauty in Savannah, Georgia last month. In 1 month, we sold over $100,000 of product.
Wow.
So if you're making 20% off of the sales of that,
Yeah.
that's $20,000.
Yeah.
So it's another huge revenue stream.
That's incredible. There's so many
Layers to it.
Yeah, like there's so many wheels that are turning. Like it's
Which makes sense why sometimes people do get burnt out, because it is a lot of work and it's a lot of thought process. And for people who haven't grown to the point where they have a huge team behind them and they're, you know, I'm sure you started out doing a lot of it yourself.
All
like
of it.
that's a lot of work. And
Yes.
balancing, you know, a wife and being a mom and all your other things. That's crazy.
And the hardest part of it when you start is that you have to wear all the hats. So you have to be a lighting tech, a sound designer, you have to be a producer, a script writer, you have to be an on-talent personality, then you got to be an editor, and you got to be a graphic designer, because if you don't make a good thumbnail, no one's going to click on the damn thing. But you also have to work full time, so you're not making any money.
Yeah.
That's why so many people don't make it.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's like 1% of people who try ever hit 100,000 subscribers on YouTube, or it's like even less than that. I don't even remember the stat anymore, but it's like no wonder.
Well, yeah.
Because it's a full-time job in and of itself.
Yeah.
With a team, and on your own it's more than that, but then you also need to make money. So it was really hard when I started. Like it was exhausting.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So how long had you been on YouTube before you were like comfortable?
Yeah, so it took me an entire year to get 1,000 subscribers, and I posted every single week. So I would run all my other companies and all my other businesses at the same time. I would make content at night after I put my kids to bed, because Ollie was a baby. He was 1. And I would also make content on Sundays, because I worked on Saturdays doing the bridal stuff, right? So some days I would just like work all night to make a video, launch it, and get like 100 views. So it took me a whole year to get to 1,000 subscribers, but I was so determined. Then it took me a whole other year to get to 10,000. So 2 full years doing this, like all freaking night, every spare second. I wouldn't go to parties. People would invite me out. I'm like, I can't, I gotta edit. People were like, you gotta edit. You have like 1,000 subscribers. You know, like I was committed.
Yeah.
I have goals here.
Yeah.
I'm achieving this.
Yeah. And then once the 2 years hit, it's like a light bulb went off, and I started to understand how all the pieces of the puzzles work together. I became like obsessed. Every time I was driving, I was listening to YouTube podcasts about how to be a creator, how to be a better creator, how to make more money on YouTube. Like I was obsessed. Like it's all I did. When I would shower, I would listen to podcasts. When I would drive, I'd listen to podcasts. Like, I'd pee, I'd listen to podcasts. Like, you know, I dream about it.
Yeah.
So then year 2, it's like everything started to make sense. And that year I went from 10,000 to 100,000 subscribers.
Wow.
Yeah, because I like
In a year
understood
of
it.
that point?
Yeah.
That is crazy growth.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it was 6 months actually. It was from like that second half of that second year. It's like everything started making sense. And then it was in 6 months I got like 90,000 subscribers or something.
Wow. Good
Yeah.
for you. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's incredible.
And then after 100 it gets a lot easier.
Yeah.
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 You've paved the way, like
Yes.
can
When
relax
did you
a little
bring
bit.
on the team?
As soon as I hit 100,000 subscribers, I brought on Lori.
Yeah.
She was my first hire. I brought on Lori. I had known her from the industry because she used to run a modeling agency. So when I worked in the industry, I worked with her models all the time. She's a very good producer. She's extremely organized. So she came on, and at the time she didn't know anything about YouTube. And I was like over here in my own like bubble of like listening to podcasts for 2 years.
Yeah.
So I kind of brought her in, and I showed her the path, and then she became super obsessed, and now she's amazing. Like we do, like I said, click-through rate is really important. So she designs all the thumbnails. She'll design like 20 iterations of every thumbnail, and we'll do A/B testing for all of them. So we start by uploading 3 at once, and she'll track all of the numbers and see which one's outperforming which. We'll boot out the 2 that are underperforming, upload 2 more. So we'll go through like
What
10.
is this? On YouTube?
It's on the back end. It's called A/B testing.
Holy
So she'll design like 20 versions of every single thumbnail.
wow.
She monitors them. She tracks the numbers. She does all the affiliate stuff. She's actually incredible.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Yeah, she's become amazing. She was amazing from the beginning. But
Yeah.
her skills now are like, and now she works for a bunch of other YouTubers too.
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
So are you mostly on YouTube or are you on like TikTok now? I know you're on Instagram, but I feel like you've said before that you kind of let it slip sometimes. Like a lot of your energy does go to YouTube, but are you on TikTok?
Okay, so this is the problem. Because YouTube is such a huge business for me, and I have a lot of people to support. 99.9% of my attention goes to that because that's where all the money comes in for me to be able to pay all my employees, make sure that they're compensated, getting commissions, they're like feeling good and happy. I know short form platforms are a big thing now, especially. They're definitely still not even nearly as big as YouTube, but they're less lucrative financially, but there is a place for them. But I feel like Instagram gets all my like dirty seconds. Like I'll just take like some footage that I have laying around and I'll like put a voiceover to it. It's really sloppily done. There's no intention. There's no strategy. So I grew it to like 100,000, but really like, I don't even know how the platform works. I don't know how the algorithm works.
Because it always changes. Like it's hard
Always
to
changes.
know.
Yeah, I just like throw whatever up there and
Yeah.
pray for the best. And then TikTok I gave up on after the ban.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and my audience is older and that audience is too young. And I felt like I couldn't get it to align.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
I think once you get it going, it's the easiest, what I've been told is it's the easiest platform to grow on.
Oh, yeah.
It's the easiest platform to get subscribers on. But subscribers mean nothing if you're not making any money.
Well, yeah.
Who cares?
You got bills to pay. Like, come on.
Like it's a business, you know? Like I don't care if I'm popular.
Yeah, exactly.
So let's talk PR lists. Do you feel like brands prioritize looks, numbers, or genuine connections when choosing who to work with?
Brands prioritize sales. It's all about sales, and they know if you're selling because of the affiliate links.
So they can see?
Yes. That is.
Wow.
So I get an obscene amount of PR. Like it's absurd.
Yeah.
We've talked about this.
Yeah.
And is it them trying to like woo you?
Yes, 100%. Like the packaging's so over the top, and there's like handwritten letters, and it's because I'm a high converting creator. That's why. So on ShopMy, they'll show you where you're ranking based on other creators. And if you're, an average sales creator or really high sales converting creator. And the reason I'm such a high sales converting creator is because I have a more mature audience demographic. They have money. They have issues they want to solve. And I give them the solution to solve it. So they trust me and they buy it.
Yeah.
Right? And so what happens like on ShopMy, for example, it will categorize all of your products like RMS Beauty, for example, right? Last month I sold $100,000 worth of that product. So RMS Beauty will pull the numbers and see which creator is selling what. And then they'll prioritize those creators for brand deals, brand trips, PR, and all of that stuff.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Have you been on like a bunch of brand trips?
Yeah.
Do you like? Is it fun?
It is fun.
I want to know the tea. I know she's being careful about what she says, but I just want to know, like, blink twice if it's like, no.
They're really fun. Like they definitely treat you like an A-list celebrity, which is really funny because like you're not. But it's all about the sales at the end of the day, right?
Yeah.
So they'll fly you to first class, and I did I went on a big brand trip in San Diego where they brought me and a bunch of creators in my niche, and they rented us like a beautiful beach house, like multi-story beach house, and then every day there was like personal chef and charcuterie boards, and you go into your room and your bed's like covered in gifts from all different brands, and
Wow.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
The thing with me about it's not that I don't enjoy it or appreciate it. I definitely do, but I'm also very much aware that that it's about
why
the
it's
sales.
happening. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like, I think when you're a younger creator, you find it very flattering.
Yeah.
Like, I know that they just want me to make more content.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I see through it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I do get that from you, because even like that one YouTube video you posted, kind of going more in depth about like what goes on behind the scenes and stuff like that. That's why I do like you, because I feel like there are a lot of people that aren't really authentic. And in this time, like in general, to start, it was very entertaining for a lot of people to watch these people go on all these trips or do all these things, because you kind of feel like you're living through them. It's so entertaining. You wish that was you. But then it gets to a point where you feel like it's not real and that they're just selling you something. So
Yes.
I feel like people really prioritize people being authentic now.
Yeah.
Totally. And actually, it's a huge issue, and I can see why creators go down that space. Say you're using a Lumiere skincare, right? You love it. And then La Roche-Posay, which is also a good skincare, is like, listen, we have this new big launch. We need you to make a video about it because the launch is going up in 2 weeks. And we'll pay you $20,000 US to talk about it for 2 minutes. Most creators will say, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially just starting out too. Like I feel like there's probably they don't find the line of where to draw what is important to them, if that makes sense, or what they actually believe in.
Yeah, or they need it.
Yeah.
You know, when I was a newer creator, when I started getting brand deals, it's at that time it was like, we'll pay you $1,000. And I'm like, $1,000? Are you kidding me? I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, I'll do it.
Yeah.
And so you you can quickly just do things because it's like more and more money in your bank account.
Yeah.
And you need the money when you're new. And when you're not new, you might need the money to pay your editing team or your production team.
Yeah.
Or, you know, so it's a really slippery slope. I decline much more deals than I take. And James is really good about it because he makes money when I make money. So another part is a lot of the influencer agents, they get annoyed, right? They're like, this is a huge deal. You're going to decline it because you think the moisturizer is too greasy. Like, it's 1 minute. Just say it.
Yeah.
And so I get it. You know, I
Yeah.
get it. I know. But you also see those creators fall from grace real fast. Because people stop trusting them because this week they're using La Roche-Posay, next week they're using Aven, the following week they're using SkinCeuticals.
Yeah, and people can see right through it, like, truthfully.
You have to believe in it while you're talking about it.
Yeah,
You have to be trustworthy.
for sure.
Yeah. And you have to be able to say no.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the, maybe it's not so much an advantage that I have, but I'm not very money driven. So I'm very comfortable saying no. It could also be because Tony has a really great job and I don't feel pressure to support my family by myself. So, you know, I'm not Mother Teresa or perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you accept every single thing, you become one giant commercial, then you lose your audience. If you lose your audience, you lost everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
You freaking built it up.
Yeah,
You did
especially
a lot of work to build this up.
Yeah.
Jeez.
if you could change one thing about the industry or content creators as a whole, what would it be?
Oh, that's so easy. So the hardest part of it for me is that you get rewarded by being sensationalized. You get rewarded for drama because that's what people want to see. You get rewarded for being controversial because the more you do stuff like that, the more people watch you. And whether they're writing hate or not in the comments, it's still engagement. And so the way the algorithm works is that the more toxic and vile you are, the more money you make. And I would 100% change that.
Yeah.
Because it's sad to me when I look in my feed and I see so much extreme controversy and fighting, and I just hate that those creators are the ones that become millionaires.
Yeah.
Because that's what the algorithm wants.
Yeah. It's sad.
I was
but
gonna say it's.
but
sad.
like, I don't think a lot of people think like that.
No.
So it's like, it's nice.
Yeah.
If you weren't doing beauty content, what do you think you'd be doing instead?
I'd still be in beauty. It's like all I know. It's all I'm obsessed with it.
Mm-hmm.
You would be a farmer. What are you talking about?
I would be a farmer too.
You would have alpacas. You'd have every animal that you could buy.
So true.
Yeah.
I do really love animals.
You'd have a petting zoo or something. You'd be a zookeeper. Like,
I would.
yeah.
Or like an evolutionary anthropologist. I also really love that.
These are like very different.
It's like first beauty content only.
That's all I know. That's all I'll ever do.
I do really love science.
Yeah.
Yeah, and biology and
Very interesting, the things that you are like into, because they're very different.
I know. But I don't know if I could do the other things all the time.
Yeah.
Like
They're
farming?
my hobbies. Yeah, like farming. I could do it like on the weekend.
Is there anything that you're currently working on or super excited about that you could potentially share?
Yeah, so we're launching a beauty brand in mid-September.
What's his face?
It's really
Really?
scary. Yes, it's been
This is
consuming.
effing amazing.
Mhm.
Wow, congratulations.
Yeah, thanks. So something we've noticed on the channel is I make a lot of mature beauty tutorials.
Yeah.
It's a huge niche of women that are very largely ignored,
Mm-hmm.
and they care and they want to look
Yeah.
beautiful, and they're so special and beautiful and developed and rich and just wonderful. I just love that community so much.
Yeah.
So I'm making a whole brand just for them called Mature Beauty.
I love that.
Yeah. So it's just all of the core products that can help them be their best selves.
Mm-hmm. So are you cooking in the lab? Like, how's that going?
She's
Oh, it's a
been
lot.
cooking in the lab. You should tell the story about you sitting on your bathroom floor with your bucket of products.
Oh my gosh, it's crazy because we started with manufacturing Korea, couldn't get the formulation the way that I wanted it to be. So then we moved over to the States. I couldn't find the formula there either. So then we moved over to Germany, doing like multiple iterations every time. We're starting with one product. I can't say what it is yet.
Yeah.
But I just needed it to be like the perfect texture and consistency and color family. And everything needed to be like exactly what that woman, like 45 plus, needs and wants, and will be easy for them. And they can do a lot of different things with. They can manipulate the pigment. So it needed to have like enough manipulation time. Then it had to dry down so that it didn't transfer. It was like a lot of things. And so then we finally found a formula in Germany. And we worked on that formula for a while and got it down to what we wanted. But then with the tariffs.
Oh.
No.
Yeah. So then we had to bring it back because the incorporation, so Mature Beauty Inc. is incorporated in the States. It's an American corporation. So we had to bring the manufacturing to the States because of the tariffs. But it's okay because the manufacturing company in Germany also has one in the States.
Yeah. Funny how things work out.
Yeah, so we were able to get the formula transferred over there, and I just tested it, and it's all good. Like, it's exactly the same.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, so it's been a lot. That's a lot.
So
That's
how
like
long
a
has
lot
this
of
been in the
work.
works?
Literally like 2 years.
That's amazing. Do you have like an expected launch?
Yeah, we're launching mid-September. Yeah, it's
That's
very
quickly
soon.
approaching.
I know. It's really
Did we get
scary.
a PR package?
Absolutely.
I want to unbox.
I'll be tracking your sales. I'm just
Affiliate links we're working on.
Oh my God.
So
Yeah.
exciting.
Yeah, that's great. If someone wanted to follow in your footsteps or just wanted to get into the industry, even if it's not necessarily beauty content, what advice would you give to them?
I think the biggest piece of advice would be to start without overthinking and to create consistently, because you're not going to be able to get better if you don't do. I think some people overthink, so then they don't perform.
Yeah.
You know, they'll plan so much they won't execute, but the execution is what allows you to get better and plan and do it again. So my strategy, and definitely my strategy now, is to plan and then film, execute, analyze, reiterate, plan, film, execute, analyze. So every time you launch a piece of content, you need to see how it performed compared to other pieces of content, where you kept people, where you lost them. Learn from all that information. And if you know, okay, my intro was too long, we lost 20% of our viewers in the first 3 minutes. For the next podcast episode or the next whatever, we got to cut that intro down. And then you execute it, and then you look again and you think, hey, we saved, you know, now we only lost 15%. We saved 5% of our viewers, but it's still too long. We should cut our intro down to 30 seconds. So it's always about, for me, like, especially when I got to like 10,000 to get to 10 to 100,000, it was like I try to make every video at least 1% better. And what did that mean? It meant my CTR was higher, you know, trying to get the thumbnail stronger so the click-through rate was higher, and comparing it to the previous one. And it's all about tangible measurements. You know, it's not like feelings. It's like, the numbers don't lie. You got to listen to the numbers and take yourself out of it. Even if you think, oh, that intro was awesome. Well, was it? You lost 20% of your viewers.
Yeah.
It wasn't that awesome.
So, like, it's not about you. It's
what the people want to see.
Yeah. And what satisfies them. Like, if you did a call to action and you got 1,000 comments in a day, say you're a smaller creator, and that's like, wow, that call to action really worked. So I'm going to bring that into another video. So I'll give you a quick example. When I do longer videos now, in order to get higher engagement, kind of in the middle of the video, I'll say something really random like, are you still here? And I'll say, if you're still here, comment a frog emoji down below. So for the people that decked out early, they'll wonder why there's so many frog emojis in the comments. And I'll get like 3,000 frog emojis in the comments.
You're so smart. Did you just like learn this all yourself from all your podcast video or that you were listening to?
Those things came more from evaluating what was working and then making the next video a little better. So those little tips and tricks, I didn't really learn them from like a podcast episode. From the podcast episodes, I understood how the platform worked. Like, I understood that we needed strong thumbnails. We needed strong titles. We needed long tail keywords if we wanted to be found in Google search. Like, all of the nitty gritty of how it works, you need to understand. But then when you understand, you can break the rules. It's like being a hairdresser. Once you're really good at doing color, you can start mixing all types of crazy shit in there and like getting really good results. But you don't know what to break if you don't know the rules. So the other stuff I just learned from always reanalyzing and then relaunching.
I mean, obviously it worked. Like, look at the brand.
Numbers
don't lie.
It's all about the numbers, baby. It's all about the numbers.
That's gonna be our title. The numbers don't lie.
Numbers don't lie. I do want to know, like, what's your go-to glam product you can't live without? And it doesn't have to be makeup. It could also be like skincare.
Oh.
She's like looking at all of the stuff she has. How do I pick one?
Lipstick.
Yeah.
Lip liner. More specifically.
Me too.
Can't live without it.
I'm a lip liner girl.
Me too.
Dang.
I can have sunscreen on and a great lip liner blended in there. Add a
Kate,
little moisture.
You also have phenomenal skin. Like,
you're Gorgina.
Beautiful skin.
Guys.
Yeah, seriously.
It's beautiful. I've seen it naked face and it is so nice.
Aw, thanks.
Is there any beauty trends that you think are overhyped?
One beauty trend that I absolutely am positive will be ridiculous. It's going to be like the 80s puff sleeve.
Oh, yeah.
The laminated brow is going to be that.
Yeah.
It's going to look so silly later.
Yeah. But some of them are crazy.
Some of them are crazy.
Yeah.
I've seen some scary ones.
Yeah.
Like straight up.
Blindness is real.
I also super hate lash extensions. I think they're so tacky.
The like all of them, even like a classic set, or the mega volumes.
Mega volume.
Yeah,
Okay,
they're awful.
the mega volumes are literally like a Swiffer. Like
I know. And the eyes are so heavy, like no one can even open their eyes.
I know.
like see the person's eye color. Like
Too much.
I know. And it's so crazy when you see people revert back to more of their natural self and just enhance their features. Like they look phenomenal and they don't see it at the time. And I think a lot of times it's because that person has to go through a lot of growth.
Yes.
But once they, you know, sometimes go back to their natural color after being platinum blonde for so long, and it's just like it brings out all of their natural beauty, and you don't realize it when you're in the thick of it, but
it's true.
It's so true. I have lashes on now. Now I'm like, do they look too much?
no, I thought they were natural.
I thought
Oh,
those
no.
were real.
No, they're just under, like they're not lash
those,
extensions.
like,
I just put them, like I
Those
glued them
glue
on.
ones?
Yeah.
I like the glue under ones. I haven't tried them,
Like
but
clusters?
They look really good. Yeah.
Yeah, they're so pretty. I did a video on it. We'll go out next week. I'll send it to
Okay.
you.
Yeah, please. So do you leave them on for like a couple days at a time?
No.
You take them off right away?
Yeah.
So do you just use eyelash glue? You're not using the glue it comes with?
Yeah, I just use eyelash glue and I pop it on. I can pop it on.
I need to do that. I'm
3-4 minutes.
I can like just throw on a lash without even looking. Like I'm very good
I
at that.
cannot.
But I've never thought of using my eyelash glue on my clusters because my mom bought me like 6 different kinds of clusters.
Oh, yes.
And I was scared to use the glue.
Oh, no. The one that I used in the video were self-adhesive.
Yeah.
They were the velour ones that come with adhesion.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's like-
yeah.
Yeah, those are easy, but when I take those off and they're not sticky anymore, you just add a little bit of glue and then you
You're
use your little
so
tweezers and you pop them on.
smart.
Yeah, and it looks so good.
I do
It
want
looks
to
so
try
natural.
them. Yeah, because underneath, like, those look like they're your real.
Yeah, because when you look down, you can't see them.
Dang. We got to try this.
They don't call her Glam Girl Gabi for nothing.
That's what they say on the streets.
Okay, so I guess we're gonna finish out.
Yes.
Question of the day: if your online persona had to meet your real life self, what do you think they would say to each other?
Okay, so if my online persona would be like, girl, like clean yourself up, because online I'm like all glam. In real life, I wear makeup like once a week.
Yeah.
I'm so low maintenance. I wear like tracksuit every day.
Yeah. Seriously.
I only wear nice clothes on videos.
Yeah. To get the content and then immediately.
Put on my
Done.
tracksuit and
Yeah.
like cover myself with dogs.
Yeah. Accurate.
People think I'm really glamorous, and I'm like I am glamorous in my soul.
Yeah.
But I just like can't be bothered. I'm like
No.
I'm editing. Like I don't
And
have
I
time.
also feel like I could wear makeup all day and be fine and comfortable, but the minute I get home, I like it's sensory overload. Like I need to get it off and
Yeah,
just
I'm
feel cozy.
Itching to take this
Same.
face off.
Yeah.
It's been on all day.
Yeah.
I even feel that like when I'm home with the boys, like to kiss them and snuggle them. Like I
Oh,
don't want it
yeah.
to get on them. So I just I'm really, really, really low maintenance in my
Yeah.
real life compared to my online life.
So interesting. Do you have anything that you would say to your online persona?
I'd rather tell her to shut up, honestly. My online persona is like super outgoing and like bubbly
Yeah.
and like whatnot, but I'm actually very like introvert,
Yeah.
calm, cool, collected. I'd like to be in my house by myself with my dog and like
Naturally.
yeah.
Did you know that most creators have that personality? I have
It
the same
makes
personality.
sense. It makes
Yes.
sense. We're like on all day long.
Yeah.
That like I come home. Sometimes I drive home with no music on.
Oh yeah.
Like
Facts.
I just need to like turn off.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm still semi-bubbly and I'm like nice and whatnot, but just not as exaggerated.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I get that.
You talk very sweet on social media.
I do.
Do you?
Yeah.
She has this
I
like,
customer service always.
Yeah, her customer service voice, it's like such a sweet voice. Hi.
My
guys.
voice is sweet, Now I'm sweet.
Okay, yes, but I mean, like,
No. Yeah. What would I tell myself? I don't know. Like, I feel like I do present very similar to how I am online versus off, only because I'm not really, like, I'm not an influencer or a content creator. Like, it's just me passionate about what I do for my career and wanting to help people feel beautiful. Like, that fills my cup. And naturally going with it is putting myself on social media and showing the things that I do, which most people would say is like an influencer, but I don't categorize myself as that. So, hi, how are you? Are you doing okay, maybe?
yeah.
Like,
Are you well?
that's probably what I would ask.
Do you guys find, I have a question for you.
Oh, okay.
We're turning it around.
Oh, God.
Welcome to the Glam Girl Gabi podcast.
Do you guys find working with so many people, because having been in your shoes for, nearly 20, well, not that long. It was, like 18 years, 17 years, working with people all day, every day. Did you find it like mentally draining?
It is.
Very.
Yeah.
Very.
And like, I love my clients.
Yep.
I mean, obviously you get that random person you've never seen and you're like, and they are just hard to please, just want to ruin your day. And it's hard. And it's hard to not take it personally. But I find being someone that is introverted with extroverted qualities, when you have a bad day like that, it's hard to go home and then put on the hat of, you know, the partner to my boyfriend, and like, he works from home and he's very extroverted. So he's like looking forward to me getting home, and I'm like, I literally just can't talk to you right now. Like, you know what I mean? That can be very hard. But I find for the most part, when I see it, like my regular clients, it's fun and it's not as taxing, but still that like stimulation of talking to people all day. It's like,
There's a difference between having a full day of your regular clients and a full day of new clients.
Oh,
yeah.
I remember that.
Full day of new clients is so exhausting.
Yeah, and like you're not really yourself because you're very, very professional. Not to say I'm not professional with like my regular clients, but it feels like a friendship.
Yes.
Like, you know, we shoot the shit and we talk about what's going on in our personal lives, and like, I'm not as on.
Yes.
Where with a new client, it's like very, very professional.
That's exhausting.
Yeah. You need to win them over.
Yeah.
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 Oh,
Yeah.
I hate winning people over.
I know. That's why I left the industry. I was losing my mind.
Hard.
Yeah. After a while, I was like, oh my God, I hate this so much.
We're going to close out here. I just want to say thank you so much for coming on. Honestly, it was mind blowing to hear kind of.
I can't wait to re-listen to it, honestly.
Yeah. The back end stuff is truly mind blowing because you don't understand how much goes into it. Like, people think you just turn on your camera, maybe edit it, and like, that's it.
Yeah.
But all of the hats that you have to wear to get to where you are now, like, that takes a very dedicated person, a very smart, driven, like all of the things. Yeah.
Thank you guys.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah. So thank you for coming on. And do you want to tell people where they can find you?
Yeah, you can find me on YouTube at Glam Girl Gabi. You can find me on Instagram at Glam Girl Gabi.
And not TikTok. Canceled.
You can find me on TikTok, but I don't post anything on there. Also at Glam Girl Gabi. Don't email me, I won't respond. Inquiry at Glam Girl Gabi.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on. And don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe.
Like, comment, share, subscribe.
I hope everyone has a wonderful Monday.
Thank you so much. This was fun.